Ever since I started dating my girlfriend, Tori, things have gotten weird. Don't get me wrong, she's simply amazing. We always have a great time no matter what, and just talking to her leaves my heart racing a mile a minute. But there is something about her that seems to trigger this recurring nightmare that I really don't understand. Someone suggested talking about it to see if the nightmare would end, or see a shrink to see if something that I'm not understanding about myself. Either way, I can't stop thinking about it. Here's what seems to happen before the nightmare starts. We finally go on a date and try to improve our relationship because we've grown pretty close. We go to bed and I think to myself how life is perfect the way it is, and then slowly drift away to sleep. The nightmare then starts with the fact that I'm lost in the woods somehow. Traveling for a while in the dark, I see a well-lit gate just up the hill. I've never seen this place before, but the mansion that seems to be in a good distance from the gate seems beautiful and inviting. That's when my girlfriend invites me in. I try to ask her who lives here, or for what that matters, does this belong to her? With a creepy giggle, she simply says, "No, my love, this is our home, you know. Now come on, I've missed you." She pulls me along, and I feel warning bells in my head telling me that this is a horrible idea. It warns me that if I go inside, things are going to get worse. I force myself to memorize details such as the car that I somehow have keys to, the sky being pitch black, as if something swallowed the stars themselves and left everything in the pitch black state. I turn around to look and see if I could see the forest that I just came out of, but it too is swallowed by the darkness. The only thing I can see is everything on the property. Anything outside of it seems to no longer exist. I told Tori, "Baby, maybe we should leave." In a demonic voice, she shouts, "No!" I begin to panic more as I demand her to let go of me. "Damn it, Tori! I said let go of me!" She ignores me as I tell her that she's hurting me. She never looks back as we inch closer and closer to this beautiful wooden double-sided door. Their bright wooden color fades to black as I enter. The second I got free from her grasp, I ran as fast as I could, with her laugh echoing. I began to think that I'd escaped as her footsteps started to die down. I feel a sense of vertigo, but I know if I collapse or gag from the nauseating feeling, she's going to find me. It becomes a game of who can outsmart who. Like a scared rat, I hide along the rafters somehow. I can't help feel as if she's the only one toying with me. This is where the nightmare ends, but it doesn't stop here. I only wish it did. Despite the nightmares, Tori and I continued to see each other and asked her for her hand in marriage. That's when it got worse. Way worse. The nightmare played out as it usually did, but things were different. This time, men that I've never seen before chased me all throughout the woods. They tried to stab me and shoot me. Little did I know why. I managed to hold refuge in what I thought was an abandoned home. They stopped looking for me for the second I got in the house. As I started to stand up and get a hold of myself, I looked around and fear turned my blood cold as I realized they baited me back to the fucking mansion in the house. Damn you! I couldn't help but yell out. "Yet it is you who are damned," said the whispering voice. Unfortunately, I knew exactly what it was. It was a nightmare version of Tori. "I'm getting out of here," I said sternly. That's when she showed herself as this large centipede-like creature
try all that you like. You won't escape again, but you will be mine.
She immediately tried to attack me and almost took my right arm in the process. The chase began almost immediately. I ran up the stairs until she caught up with me quickly, on her human hands for feet and arms for legs. I jump off the banister as she screeched in anger. As soon as I touched the ground, she destroyed the banister, and I ran into a random room. Barely escaping, I try to wake up. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Then my alarm clock woke me up. I woke up in a cold sweat, and had never been so happy to wake up to an alarm clock before. However, as I went to turn the alarm clock off, her voice appeared in my head.
This isn't over,
it said angrily. I will find you, my love, it whispered in my head. For the rest of the week, I was on edge. I now knew whatever this creature was had the ability to pretend to be my fiancé. Despite this, years had gone by without a single incident, so I naturally assumed that I was in the clear. Then one day, sometime after we had our second child, it happened again. Same nightmare, only this time, I got brave and challenged the creature. This time, the wager was higher than I wanted to. If, this time, I failed to escape before the dream ended, my children would be doomed to this exact hell that I was in. Clocks ticked on rapidly to mock the fact that I was running out of time and needed to make the choice. I finally agreed, and everything went so quiet. You could hear your own heartbeat. I quickly ran up the stairs, knowing that the front door wasn't an option. I hadn't considered that I would need to save my kids in the madness. In fact, the only reason I knew they were involved was because they both screamed and cried for me. I felt myself breaking to pieces at this, because I knew I had to press on. I screamed for them over and over until finally, I saw a large, detailed door that made me feel uneasy. That's when the fake Tori ran at me. I tried to bash my way into the door, but it was hard to do, as it was heavy. The kids screamed for me again as Tori came closer. And finally, I made a choice. I quickly outsmarted her, cutting my hand in the process. I used a knife on the door as the creature pretended to be my wife, screamed in torture. I stabbed the door several times before it disappeared, and the door was open. I quickly rushed and picked them up. I ran throughout the house as the creature's centipede form came after us. My poor, innocent children screamed and cried into me as the creature's razor-sharp claws grazed my back, sending me tumbling down the stairs. I used my now bloody body as a human shield.
You cannot escape, my love. You will be mine.
She shouted with excitement as she crawled quickly down the now broken stairs. The fuck I will! I shouted back. Suddenly, my heart raced more as I could feel the time counting itself down. Tears fell from my face. This is it, I thought to myself. My children and I are doomed to be this thing's plaything. I shut my eyes tightly as I told my crying children that their papa loves them more than anything in the world. The creature's massive toothy maw was about to clamp down on us. When I saw the part of the house Tori and I dreamt about having, our own greenhouse, I didn't hesitate or even try to make sense. I ran as fast as I could, with my children gripping me so tight that I thought pieces of my flesh would be bruised and scarred. It didn't matter. With the last of my strength, we broke through the glass part of the greenhouse. The creature screamed in defeat as I tried to prevent shards of glass from impaling my kids. It wasn't over. The creature didn't care that it lost and that we won. She just wanted to eat and torment us. What made this endeavor worse was the clock was still ticking. It didn't make sense until I quickly realized the mansion grounds counted too. I quickly remembered the vehicles and tried to run to it. As I did, I looked down and saw my left leg was covered in glass shards.
Damn it!
I screamed as I kept moving. Every single step felt as if glass sheared deeper into my skin and into my calf. It was a torture. She turned back into my wife and walked slowly to us.
Baby, it's dark outside. Just come back with me. We can start over,
she said seductively. I threw my kids into the car as I ignored her. Suddenly, her face contorted into a huge smile with jagged teeth. I know I should have tried to save my wife, but my son and daughter needed me more. Besides, whatever took my wife wasn't planning on giving me a chance to save them at all. I hotwired the car and immediately drove it backwards, slamming the gate open. We barely made it out, but the creature looked amused, as if our fear was more than enough as I watched us drive away. I woke up crying, covered in sweat.
The kids.
And I ran to check on my kids. They were both sound asleep, as I sighed with relief. My wife went to check and see if I was okay. I felt stupid as I talked to her about the nightmares. She assured me that they were just nightmares and everything was okay. She went downstairs to make breakfast. I went downstairs to see her after I brushed my teeth. I was honestly relieved that despite how much the pain felt so real, it was all just a series of bad dreams. As I entered the kitchen, I realized that I barely heard her or any of the kitchen utensils being used. I looked at our family table and saw her favorite cross stabbed into the table upside down. My wife isn't known for her pranks and is a religious woman, so I knew she would never do this. That's when, to my left, I felt a dark presence. It was similar to the creature in my nightmare. My blood turned ice as cold as she said,
Welcome home, sweetheart. I told you that you and I would be together. We will be together forever. And the best part is that now, not even death can tear us apart.
I ran upstairs to get the kids when I realized I never had kids. We were planning on kids, but not right now. That's when the last words I heard were whispered into my ear.
You really shouldn't have moved here. You are all mine now.
And everything since then went dark.
Good night. Farewell. And remember, don't get lost in the dark.